Welcome to this video training lesson on web application fingerprinting. In this video, we will see how to fingerprint a web application in order to discover information such as the web server running, the technologies it uses, and a few more pieces of information that can be important for the latest steps of our penetration testing. During the video, we will use a few techniques and tools to discover this information. The first one we want to use for manual fingerprinting is Netcat, a simple utility that reads and writes data across network connections. By using Netcat, we can establish a connection to the web server and look at the server field in the HTTP response header. Let's start writing our command to establish the connection with our target, which for this example will be Microsoft.com. So the command will be nc, which stands for Netcat, followed by the host name or the IP address of our target. So Microsoft.com and then the remote port on which we want to connect. So port 80 for HTTP connection. Once we hit enter, the connection is established, but we have to send the actual request to the web server. To do this, we can simply send a GET or a HEAD request with the following syntax. In this case, we are using the HTTP verb head. The / is the document URI, which in this case is the domain root index file. At the end, we specify the HTTP version we want to use. Now we have to hit return 2 times in order to actually send the request. Indeed, as soon as we hit enter the second time, we get a response from the web server. Even if we get the HTTP code 301, we can see that the headers returned reveal some very important information. Here indeed, we can see that the server header contains important information about the software used by the server. In this case, it is IIS version 8.5. Another piece of very useful information we can get from the headers returned is the technology used by the web application. Here indeed, we can see that the app is based on ASP.NET. So with this very simple command, we've discovered a bit of information about the target web application, but we want to know more about it. To do so, we can use other command line tools specifically designed for fingerprinting web applications. The tool that we are going to use in this video is WhatWeb. If you want to download it, you can do so at the following address and clone the Git repository to your machine. We've already done it, so from our console, let's move in the tool folder in order to start using it. As usual, let's run the tool without options in order to get the help manual. It's very easy to use. We just need to run it with the option we want, followed by the target address or addresses we want to fingerprint. If we inspect the manual, we can see that there are many options we can use and they are organized in section, depending on their purpose. For example, we have options for the target selection and modification. We can set the aggression level. The higher this level is, the more information we will get. At the end of the output, we can also see some example usage. For now, let's start a basic scan. The only options we want to use is -V, which will increase the verbosity of the output and give us more readable results. So our command will be WhatWeb, followed by the target domain, which in our case is Microsoft.com, and then -V to set the verbose output. Let's run the command and verify what we get. It takes just a few seconds to complete. Let's go to the top of the output and start inspecting it. At the very beginning, we have the summary of the results, while right after the tool shows us a description for each result obtained. As we already know, the application uses ASP.NET, and here we can confirm it. We also get other information such as the country of the IP address. In the HTTP server and the Microsoft IIS results, we can confirm once again that the web server is IIS version 8.5. So we've gathered some very important information, but if we scroll down, we can see that the output is not over. This happens because on the first request, the server responds with a 301 code, and the tools automatically follow the redirect and keeps fingerprinting the application. This time, it tries to fingerprint the web app starting from www.microsoft.com, and as we can see here, it is also able to detect the specific version of ASP.NET. Note that the server responds with another redirection here. Indeed, if we scroll down, we can see that the tools keeps going on until it gets to a 200 status code. So here, once again, we get other information about the web application. In this case, it detects a different version of ASP.NET, as well as a different version of IIS. Remember to store this information in your mind map tool. They will come in handy later on. Until now, we have used 2 command line tools, and we've successfully fingerprinted the web application. However, we've not finished yet. We want to use another tool that can give us even more information. This time, we want to use the tool named Wapalyzer. This is a web browser plugin that automatically fingerprints the web application while we browse it. In order to install it, we can just open the following web page and click on the Install button. We've already done it, so let's open the Add-ons panel and enable it. Now we need to navigate the target domain. Here we are. In the address bar, we can see the same icon appearing. Let's click on one of those in order to inspect them. Once we click, a small pop-up appears on the right, and here we can see all of the information it is able to gather. Here again, we can confirm that the web server is running on IIS 8.0, and the web framework is ASP.NET v4. But we also get some other information about other frameworks the application uses, such as jQuery, Modernizer, and so on. Awesome! We now have enough information about the web application, and we can go on with our penetration test. Once again, remember to store all of this information. And this concludes our training video lesson on web application fingerprinting. Thanks very much for joining us.